tonight is, sorry, let me get comfortable in this chair. Tonight is Wednesday the 26th of September 2018. And why is that important? Because tonight I saw Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, live for the first time. And oh my god, darling, it was fabulous. Bring out your inner drag queen and you'll be fine. Oh no, okay, so the build up to this, basically, apparently Priscilla hasn't been in Australia for quite some time. It's been everywhere else, but it hasn't been to Australia. It's probably been, I think, maybe to Sydney in the last 10 years, something like that. I'm not 100% certain, but for the first time in a long time, they're back in Queensland. And so obviously they were promoting the crap out of Priscilla, so I bought pre-sale tickets and I was like, I'm sitting on these, I got them and it's great. So tonight I went and sorry, I'm still trying to rattle my head and this is not balanced, I'm sorry. And so they were promoting it, but basically they were saying that Ray Ma's in it, like he is. For those who don't know who he is, he's Alf Stewart from Home and Away, which, is he still on it? I don't know, I heard that they killed him off. I don't know, I haven't watched Home and Away since like 2007, so my Home and Away knowledge is a bit rusty. Forgive me. But they were promoting the crap out of Priscilla and going, and with special guest Ray Ma, like he's in it, I'm not gonna lie. But they made it seem like he was the main act. He's not quite the main act, he is one of the main, he's one of the supporting characters, but he's definitely in it. So let me unravel my little mysteries. If you haven't read my Instagram post by now, depending on how long it takes me to upload this video, but everything about Priscilla that I kind of skimmed over is in my Instagram posts and links in the description if you want to read those, saves you watching this, or whatever. Okay, so tonight I kind of had an idea of how it was going to go. I mean, I've seen the 1994 movie. I don't know, I read in the program that it said it was 1993, but then it said 1994, and I was like, oh god, so I'm a bit confused. So I know it happened in like that 2-year gap. I know I wasn't born until like halfway through 94, so it took me some while before I could actually grow up and watch Priscilla. But obviously the movie is fantastic. We all know the movie with, we all know the movie with all those fantastic actors who I can't think of at the moment. It's really bad, I'm so sorry. All I know is the guy from Superman, it's Guy Pearce, and there's another guy, and oh my god, it's bad, I'm sorry. So we all know how that movie went, and that movie is of course a fantastic Australian classic that I'm guessing is known right around the world, and that's great, no big deal. But then you see Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. There is a few subtle changes, not enough for you to go, oh god, what have you done, or like, why, but enough for you to go, oh, you didn't put that in. Okay, I'm fine with that because you did something else instead, and it makes up for you taking that away. So the bathtub scene, if you remember that scene from the movie, the one where one of the characters was supposed to be molested by his uncle, that is not in the play, thank God. But the infamous ping pong scene is in the play. Now let that sink in. The ping pong scene is in the play. And let's just say the audience squealed and they freaked out and they squirmed, and it was like the perfect reaction, which of course is what you expect. And oh god, okay. Okay, so that's, like I said, there were subtle changes, but not enough for you to go, oh god, but enough for you to go, oh cool. So the Priscilla, the Queen of the Desert is obviously musical, obviously, but there are apparently a few songs that aren't in the movie that are in this, and vice versa. The guy that was sitting next to me, he was saying something about the licensing rights to the songs, how the songs from the movie they can no longer get the rights for the play. I'm not 100% certain. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched the movie, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go home and go watch the movie and be like, those songs weren't in it. But it's fantastic. It opens the way you don't expect it to, and it's colourful, and there is obviously a few slurs from the movie that are in the play, and those slurs have kind of been updated to be politically incorrect, if that's what you want to use. I mean, they've got the F word, like the F-A-G, I'm not going to spell the rest of it, but you know, that word. They've also got fairy and princess, and they use them in a derogatory way. Sorry, it's like 10 o'clock, I'm trying to speak. And you can, when you hear the tone when they use those slurs, you can go, oh, okay. So you sit there and go, we know this isn't right. Like, you're attacking these drag queens, and we understand that it happened in the movie, and we understand that this happens in real life, but I guess when you see it on stage, it's like, oh, okay, like, do we really wanna, like, you know, so it's one of those things that's got you going, okay, it's okay for you to guys cross the line because you're trying to prove a point that it's wrong, but then you hear it in real life and it's like, okay, cool, move on, sort of thing. I don't know, it's one of those things that you've got to sit there and go, right, okay. So those scenes are still in the movie as well as the play. I mean, the play's been around for what, 24? No, the movie's been around for what, 24 years? Play's been around longer than 10 years? I gotta read it properly. Sorry. Ray Ma, I feel like I'm pronouncing his last name wrong, and I apologize. So Ray Ma, is it? He, like I said, he's Alf Stewart from Home and Away. He plays Bob. So like I said, Bob is got that famous ping pong scene. So he's got that male order bride. And the way that Ray plays Bob, it's like, oh wow, like cool. Like it's different to the way that the original guy played it. It's got a little more, you can, I guess because it's on stage, you have to show more. Whereas in film, it's like, hey, right, you can do that and we'll be fine. But on stage, when the lights are dimmed and it's not on Ray and it's not on Bob, it's not on anyone else, you can see Bob's reaction. You can see him going, like you can just see that on his face, even though the lights are dimmed. Even though the scene is on the main characters, you can see it on his face. You can just see that he, whatever, like he just doesn't want to. And you can see it in his body language, because there are times when characters will have their back to you. I think it's meant to be. So when they have their back to you, they've got to show their body language. So you can see it in their language, the way that they're moving their body, like, oh, even though we can't see your face, your body is saying more than your words need to. And it's like, whoa, okay. Like, that's just a roller coaster in itself. So that was fantastic. So you can see every little aspect. The best part about watching Priscilla, Queen of the Desert live is that there was no boring bits. You know how when you go to a show, they've got like, they try to fill dead air, but it doesn't quite work, and then you're just left going, right, can you just pace this up now? Like, I've got to get home, it's getting late, hurry up. But with Priscilla, there was no dead air. They've got everything there. They just interchange and make it fun for the audience to go, oh, look at that change. Oh, that change is part of the scene. And it was fun to watch. So when they couldn't, I guess when you notice that there is dead air, they kind of make it obvious. Not in a bad way. Like the opening, for example. Instead of going straight into the musical, they have a voiceover come over, and then they open the curtains, and for like a few seconds it's black, but you can still hear this voice, and you then watch the lights and you watch this, and they've tried to fill it in a good way where it doesn't make you go, oh god, hurry up. It's just go, 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 regardless of whether it's the actors on stage, whether it's the lighting, whether it's the music, whether it's this or that. There is something that's keeping your mind occupied, which is great. The one thing that I absolutely hated, but like don't take offense because it's in a good way, I didn't know where to look. Personally, I had no idea where to look because there was so many characters on stage, so many outfits on stage, so many different people doing different things that you were like, where are my eyes going? I need to look at the main, but that guy's interesting. Wait, no, that guy's interesting. That character, oh my god, that costume look, like where do I, like it's one of those things that you need to have like multiple eyes to watch, because then you could be like, I'm watching over there, I'm watching there, I'm watching there, I'm watching there, I'm watching there. Like they would have characters in different places, up the roof, on the bus, in the bus, on the side of the stage, down the below of the stage. Like they would just keep your mind interested, and it was like, oh wow, okay, like it's confusing, but thank you, like it makes sense watching it. It makes sense. So it's not confusing going, oh god, what am I watching? It's more like, okay, like I need to be watching this person's got the spotlight on them, but the light's dimmed on this person, and that person's got like the facial expressions, and there's a, oh wow, I need to, oh god, like it's quite interesting to watch, and it's great. Sorry, now I need to catch my breath. So yeah, like I mentioned, there is a bus. The famous Priscilla bus is there. It does move, and if you're in the first couple of front rows, you kind of freak out because the bus moves towards the front of the stage, and there's probably about that much between the front of the stage and the bus. There's that much room between front and stage and the bus. Let me rephrase that. So when it's driving towards you, you kind of go, haha, does it have brakes? I don't want to die. So you would watch a movie, you'd be like, I'm going to lean back as it moves towards me. And then you see the inside, and half the bus is like, it's cut in half, so to speak. Like the front half is all just a bus, a looking sort of thing, and then it spins around and it shows the inside of the bus, which is very fluffy and costumey, and you know, looks like a costume box drew up, like in a good way. So yeah, it was fantastic. The costumes were amazing, outstanding, phenomenal. I mean, the costumes, like from a cosplay's point of view, so I'm somebody who's trying to make her own costumes, I look at it and go, that is awesome, I want to recreate every single costume that I saw tonight. From an audience member's perspective, I'm just like, oh my god, these costumes made me drop my jaw. Like, how are these even possible? How did pieces not fall off? How did you manage to do like the weird emu things without it falling off your head? How did you manage to get that stuck to there? And like, whoa. And some of the dancers, the ensemble, I was trying to find the right word, the ensemble dancers, they really got into it too. It's not one of those guys going, oh great, we're here to perform and add to our resume and get some money at the end of this. It's more like, let's get into it. So whether they were drag queens prior to this, or whether they're just channeling their inner drag queen, I don't know. But you could see it. None of them looked like they wanted to be elsewhere. They all looked like they wanted to be part of their show. They wanted to be part of the cast. When they took on their different roles, because you've got the ensemble doing different acts between things, between songs. I don't even know what I'm saying, sorry. So you've got like obviously derogatory, see, I told you I can't speak tonight. Derogatory scenes, you've got, you know, the butchy scenes, the ones where they get in the outback and they're stuck with the feeling uncomfortable in this bar because it's full of like butch people. You've got the people who wave bye to the drag queens. You've got the people who are like the various stages of the drag queens. Like, you could see it on their face, they wanted to be part of the show. And watching the different reactions when they took a character, it was like, okay, well, so one minute you're a drag queen, and the next minute you're a person who's like who's a bully, and you can just see that instant change in their face. It's like, oh, okay, like it took you a snap of fingers for you to just change. It's not one of those, okay, give me a few seconds and then the scene's over. It was like boom, boom, boom. It was fantastic. Like, you could just see the emotions, you can see the actions just on their face, the minute they walk in, the minute they put this character to life, and it was fantastic. So, I'm trying to think what else I need to say. I should also mention tonight was also opening night in Brisbane tonight. So opening night was fantastic. Like, you guys did a phenomenal job. You ladies did a phenomenal job. Yes, there was ladies in the play. They were part of the ensemble. They were Bob's wife. They were ensemble. They were this. They were that. They were a bit of everything. So it was a mix of guys and girls. But you could tell that most of the time they wanted the guys to be pushed to the front, which kind of makes sense, I guess. Sorry. And then, I'm just trying to think what else I need to say. Sorry, that distraction. So, I need to think, I need to process. It's 10 p.m. at night. I've just kind of watched Priscilla. I'm kind of still processing it. They say don't make things right away. Clearly I don't listen. But yeah, no, even the set changes, they were fantastic. When the bus had to go between different locations, we got a little laugh out of them. Like, I guess an Aussie humour, because we are a little twisted in our own sense of way. They would have signs that kind of hinted towards genitals, like bum something and cockburn and stuff like that. And then they would also have those warning signs saying like kangaroos ahead, koalas ahead, macas ahead. When they did those, they had a dead kangaroo, dead. I should have made it was like a stuffed teddy. They had a dead koala, stuffed teddy, and they had a dead Ronald McDonald, a stuffed clown. And we all like lost it at these little little characters that they brought slid across the stage, because it was like, oh, we didn't expect that, but great. Shouldn't be laughing, but we are. So every scene had something worth laughing at. Even if they didn't intend for us to laugh at it, we still laughed. If they didn't intend for us to cry at it, we cried. If they didn't intend for us to be stomping on our feet and giving them a standing ovation, we gave them a standing ovation until our hands went numb and our voices went dry. Like, they deserved it. For an opening night, they were fantastic and they deserved it. I'm just trying to think what else I need to say. I also bought merchandise. I kind of had a budget because I'm kind of cheeky now. I've gotten a bit cheeky when it comes to merchandise. I like to look online. I'll Google what I'm going to see and look online and get an idea of prices and an idea of what merch is going to be on sale. And so that's what I did with Priscilla. So I went with a budget about $130. I spent about $155, which isn't too bad. That's what, like a $20 difference. But I got what I wanted, even though I was debating about a few things, and there was some things I didn't know they had either. So we'll start with the famous program. That is so adorable. I love it. So obviously you go through and talk about everything. Simon Phillips, the guy that created the play, he also created the movie, and so he gives like a little bit of a forward sort of thing and talks about putting the movie with the play. And if you can see, that's actually the original actors: Hugo Weaving, Guy Pearce, and Terence Stamp. Like, oh, I just love this little Polaroids. This one's actually my favorite. You can kind of see it's just like you've got Hugo Weaving going, right, cool. A funny thing is, the guy Stephen Elliott did this. He said that nobody wanted to take the rights to the movie, so they kind of made it going, it's just going to go straight to video, and oh my god, video, how old's that? And yeah, somehow it went big and they were happy with it. So this is some of the set photos. These are our lovely leads. You got Bernadette, Felicia, and Tick. So like, look, that's the inside of the bus, as well as the costumes, like a generic PJ summer party costume sort of thing. Like, that is awesome. That's what I mean about the bus. It was like half cut out. These are our lovely actors. So you've got Tony Sheldon as Bernadette. You've got David Harris as Tick, Ewan Dodge as Felicia, and of course Raymar as Bob. These four gentlemen did a wonderful job portraying characters that have already been well known amongst the Australian culture. They channeled it in a way that it wasn't repeating. They did it in their own little take, and it was great. It was like, oh wow, like there's no parts of them going, okay, great, you're just as boring, or you're great, you're just copying the original guy. It's more like, let me bring my own shine to it. And these four gentlemen did, and it was brilliant. And turns out this guy can actually sing. He sang Fine Romance. It was so sweet. So can we get Ray singing more often, please? That I would appreciate that. I would like to hear that more often. Just saying. So more set photos. Like, just look at these costumes. I think these costumes were about the second last scene, but that's just phenomenal. This is the scene where they climb the top of Uluru, which I recommend you don't, because it's sacred and you will get fined, and apparently if you climb it you will get cursed. I'm not 100% certain, but that's what I've been told. And if you climb it you will probably get arrested, because it's sacred, and it's one thing Australians know is we gotta remember to keep stuff sacred because it's important. I'm unsure why, but I'm gonna leave it at it's important. So that's more. This is that broken heel, if you want to call it, scene with everybody. The uncomfortable scene that starts off, you can tell uncomfortable, and then it gets to being great, and then it goes back to being uncomfortable again. A lovely ensemble. Every name is in there. Every little backstory. All these people were fantastic. Everyone that started tonight was fantastic. Tonight's little kid was Geordie Campbell. He played Benji, which is Tick's little boy. He did a cute job. He was cute. More of the ensemble. There's Bernadette. I like the lighting they did with the bus. Like, it wasn't one of those going, okay, how are we gonna fix this? It was one of those going, okay, let's make it light up, let's make it do this. And the lighting was so cool. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Another scene. I'm trying to remember which scene. Oh yeah. So this is like the half tourist scene, half when Bob enters. So this is at end of Act 1. So this is where is he? This guy down here in the corner, he's showing a bunch of tourists around, and then Bob comes out and goes, somebody called for a mechanic, and in the middle of that they're all doing like a little sing-along thing. See? Like, you can just see, like, this is what I mean. They take use of the whole stage. You've got your actors down the front, you've got your backs at the back, and you've got your performers up the top as well. Like, they take use of every single thing, so you don't know where your eyes to look. And I fell in love with this page. The costume drawings, like, just how amazing are they? And it's, some of them have got like their little detailing handwritten on it. It was fantastic. And up here it says, life is adventure, dress accordingly, because why would you not? Some more pretty pictures. Bernadette. This is her when Bob's talking about the girls. And she's reminiscing, so someone's playing the younger Bernadette, and she's just reminiscing about the good old days. And it's a cool scene, I like that scene. More photos. That's opening act. Well, one of the few opening scenes. And that's probably about just a few minutes before end of Act 1. Like, apparently this thong dress is supposed to be a credit card dress, but due to like the companies not wanting to use their credit cards, they turned it into a thong dress. And it's like, how cool is that? Like, how original is that? That's fantastic. And this obviously gives you credits to everybody. It tells you what's in Act 1 and Act 2. Actually, this side, Act 1, Act 2. Gives you credits in alphabetical, in order of appearance of your cast, and of what songs were covered, and gives credit to the musicians, the band. some more little set pictures. that was really awkward, but funny. So that's a Kipapedi sign where just before it becomes uncomfortable. And so that was a nice little thing where they're kind of reminiscing over the awesomeness. A mix. This is that paint song where they got told F off, F. If you get my hint. So you've got the lovely little paint costumes down the bottom. So that was pretty cool. About some more people. And ta-da! You got Flick. Again, this is a mix of all the people that were involved, from like the backstage people that we didn't see to the orchestra. Lovely picture. I'm not sure which one's that. I think that one might be Tech, a canvas shop. You've got a producer saying something. You've got Bernadette. Oh yeah, that's the first time we are introduced to Flick, and that was fun to watch. Song credits, because you've got to give rights. Some more costumes. See, like these are actually cupcake designs inspired looks. More writing with some more costumes. Pretty cool. And obviously all the credits again. And that was the merch. So you've got like the 4 different shirts. You've got a mug, you've got 2 different coolers, a tote bag, soundtrack, tea towel, singlet, and a keyring. I will show you what I got besides the program. So I got the soundtrack. Obviously on the back of it, it tells you what was in production. But this is apparently not. Oh, it is. Okay, so it's the original Australian cast recording. I'm not 100% certain if it's from this company or if it's from, you know, when it first came to Australia. I'm not 100% certain. I've got to give it a good listen, so that's something I have to do when I get home. A shirt that I brought. Life is an adventure, dress accordingly. The shirts, I was kind of disappointed in the shirts. Like, no offense, I like wearing shirts. I know it doesn't look like it, right? But when I wear them, I like to wear them and I like to show them off. But I was kind of disappointed with Priscilla's shirts. This is another one. I actually hope this one fits because it's a women's fitted tee and the lady wouldn't let me try it on. So I'm like, oh God, I don't know what size to get. I can't even read the writing. So the writing says, it's so funny, you'll laugh so hard, your lashes will curl all by themselves. You have the Texas Chainsaw Mascara, Takarama, Life's an Adventure, dress accordingly. It's not purple, it's lavender. All by green, it's not, I can't read. So even if you see it in person, you look at it going, I can't read it because it's cursive and then it's fine print, and it's quite interesting trying to get an idea of going, what did you say? Even I was trying to work it out. I'm still trying to work it out. And I bought a lovely mug. When I bought it, the lady's like, you better not put this in the dishwasher. It's like, I don't have one. I wash my dishes by hand. Yes, I'm still one of those people. But this is a pretty mug. It's nice and sparkly and you can feel like that it's pretty rough, so it's definitely not dishwasher safe. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. So basically what I'm going to wrap up now is that Priscilla, Queen of the Desert is worth the see if you get the chance to see it. I kind of want to keep going to see it every session, but life gets in the way, so I may not be able to keep seeing it, unfortunately. But I want to. I recommend that everybody go sees it because Priscilla, the Queen of the Desert is fantastic. It gives you an excuse to bring out your inner drag queen. You will try not to sing along, but it's really hard because they use fantastic songs, great songs, a bunch of Australian classics-ish songs. I say ish because depending on what you call Australian classic, but they use a lot of songs that make you go, yes, I know that song, it's Australian, it's awesome, it's this and that. It's not your usual cup of tea of Australian classic songs, but it's definitely up there. So it's like, you know, the hits like Kylie and all that, you know, the drag queen favourite hits. Australian favourite drag queen hits. Is that the right way to put it? I'm sorry if it's not. And the costumes are phenomenal, and the actors are phenomenal, the band is phenomenal. I think this is the first time that I've sat through something live that I didn't have a problem with. I didn't mind that the actors had their backs to the audience. I didn't mind the lighting changes. I didn't mind the set changes, nothing. Everything was fantastic. Like I said, this is probably the first time that I've never had a problem watching something live. So they did a fantastic job. And it was well worth watching. It's recommended that I recommend that everybody go sees it if you get a chance. Even if you just see it once, it's worth it. But probably maybe not suitable for kids. There were kids in the audience, I'm not gonna lie. They were probably like younger than 16. There are definitely scenes, gestures and gyrations that probably aren't suitable for kids to watch. But if you're comfortable with your kid watching it, then so be it. If you're comfortable with the questions, then so be it. Trust me, a lot of gyrations, and a lot of costumes. But no, Priscilla Queen of the Desert is fantastic. I recommend you watch it. If you can't watch it, you should find somehow to watch it, even if it's online. Go support theatre because they deserve it, and I don't know what else to say because the time's about to run out. And I hope that's everything. I hope I've covered everything, and if I haven't, go read my Instagram posts because they're kind of written in the heat of the moment as well. And until then, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Thank you.